All right, here we go. Good morning, Alex.
Here we go again.
I think this is
Ori, Ori,
episode
Ori.
12 now of the Marketing Live Jam.
Well, that's it.
It's
Episode 12 of Marketing Live Jam. Welcome for those who are still tuning in. We have 4 minutes of small talk.
nice. Love the banter
Before we
beforehand.
dive, yep. Before we dive into today's content. Yes. How's your day been out in Sydney? I'm obviously not in my little dungeon today. I'm in the office.
Yeah.
Nice. And working with a client. That's why I'm more.
Nice. Hey, we're wearing the same shirt.
Oh yeah, no, we've got our uniform. Oh my.
StoryBrand.
Oh,
day is good. Sun is starting to shine again. It's a little bit fresh outside, but beautiful weather.
beautiful.
Hey, any April Fools incidences that you have come across? I have one that I actually fell for.
Okay.
And it was pretty funny. And I only realized it like a day later when I told Amy, and she raised an eyebrow, and I was like, you know what? This was posted on the 1st of April, and
Okay.
it was really funny. So 11 Labs, they do like the text to speech. They're kind of pioneering the whole AI voice technology.
Yeah.
And they're really good at cloning your voice and kind of creating AI interfaces with voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then they released this new feature, and they called it bark to voice.
Okay.
And they've analyzed hundreds of thousands of barks from dogs to analyze what the dogs mean.
Yeah.
And
to work out what you're saying.
it looked so good. It looked so real. And I was like, what the heck is happening with AI? Everything is happening so quick. And then a day later, when I told Amy, I realized it was a prank. But it's what a great way to get attention from a brand.
Yeah. Well, because in especially starting last year, people tend to believe that AI can do absolutely everything, including analyzing dog barks.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I remember years ago, I think Google released Google Smell, and it's like you can just smell through the screen or something.
Really?
They never released it.
Oh man, that's so funny. Well, I do have an April's Fool story, but it's actually not a great story, so I'll spare the details here. But yeah, man, April's Fool can make or break relationships. Let's just put it this way.
Yeah, especially when you suddenly think that your wife is pregnant, and then it was a joke. I think my
that's a classic one, isn't it?
Yeah, Amy wanted to tell me that our bank account got robbed because we just cashed in a bunch of cash that we had lying around.
Yeah.
And then she said I was probably not going to bother him too much. So I was like, yeah, I only care how much I make, not how much I spend.
Well, you got to check your heart, mate. You got to check your heart. It's not about how much you make; it's about how much you keep.
Yeah, but my job is to make, and my wife's job is to keep.
True.
So that's
true.
These are the roles that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you tell us what's in store for our show today for the last 30 seconds of small talk?
Well, Marketing Live Jam, if you are streaming it for the first time, we are giving profitable marketing advice in real time. There is so much polished and edited marketing advice out there. And so we said, hey, let's keep it raw, let's keep it real. Let's bring guests on and ask them about their marketing challenges. And then you'll have us both marketing geeks trying to figure out how they can actually solve their marketing problems. And today we actually have a guest, which is exciting. And this is what the Marketing Live Jam is all about. Anything you would add to that, Alex?
Yeah, look, you've put it perfectly, mate. Like we're keeping it real, keeping it raw. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we're here with more than a decade of experience. Well, close to 2 decades now for me. Of marketing experience that we have probably seen a lot of things under the sun. And every time we bring on a guest, we feel very confident that they're able to walk away with some tangible deliverables or tangible campaigns that they can start contemplating running.
Yeah.
Another thing that we're really good at doing is picking bad copywriting apart. So feel free, if you guys are up for the challenge, feel free to go to csharpgroup.com.au/live, LIVE, to submit any of your burning marketing questions, and you will be up next in our come. So,
Doing a free roast. Cool. Well, with this, let me introduce our guest for today. Our guest is Dean Whiteman, a amazing, really, really good wedding videographer. And I don't only say this because he filmed my wedding, but a great guy, a close friend of mine that, kind of started his own wedding videography business and is doing really well. But like all, I guess, personal brands or wedding videographers or service providers that have a talent, they kind of hit a ceiling at some point. And so we want to talk through with Dean what that all means. And let me bring him in, and he can introduce himself.
nice.
There we go. Dean, welcome to the Marketing Live Jam.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You are live on YouTube.
First
You
time.
are exactly. You are exposed to millions of people, but at the moment we only got half a dozen people watching, which is fine. Cool. Well, Dean, nice to meet you. Me and you, we've never met. Obviously, you've got some history with our Ori here. Keen to know about what you do. Ori, you sent through a bunch of questions that Dean had. Frankly, I didn't have time to go through them. So I think now is the time for us to verbalize all your burning questions and to see if we can add our 2 cents worth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A bit of backstory. I started filming weddings in 2020. So during that COVID pandemic, I did my first wedding for, I think it was $500, and they loved they loved it so much they gave me $200 extra.
Oh wow! Wow, there
So
you go.
the confidence, I
They
was
gave
like,
you 40% tips. 40% tips.
yeah, basically.
Yeah,
And
that's
then,
amazing. Yeah.
I did a few in 2021, 2022. I did a few as well. But 2023 is where I really boomed. And I probably did, balancing a full-time job, I probably did 15. And then 2024, last year, I did 30. This year, I'm looking at doing 30 weddings as well.
While working full time.
Yeah, I'm working full-time.
Oh, wow. So you're averaging 2 to 3 weddings a month.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
that's a lucrative side hustle for you, buddy.
yeah.
But are you employed somewhere and you do the wedding on the side?
Oh no. So I was full time up until 2023.
Yeah, okay.
My bad.
Yeah.
I was balancing both in 2023, and I was like, yeah, no, I need to make the jump here and go work for myself. So I feel like it was the right thing to do.
Yep.
And yeah, now we're here.
Okay.
Pretty stable right now.
Awesome.
But looking to go to that next level.
Yeah. So you mentioned next level, right? So obviously you've gone. So this is the classic, from side hustle to a full-time gig, kind of story. So if you don't mind me asking, so right now what you're doing, averaging about 2 or 3 weddings a month, is that enough to replace your income at the moment, or you're still trying to fill the gap?
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah, that's awesome. So basically you are working full-time for yourself and making a decent living, doing the things that you are both good at, and I would probably say you like doing, you love doing. Would that be right?
Yeah.
You're living
That's
the
a great
dream, mate.
life.
Why are we even talking? You have done it. Yeah. So you mentioned you wanted to go to the next level. Well, tell me about what next level looks like.
Getting leads, like high quality leads, that ultimately, firstly, I want to get enough leads.
Mm-hmm.
There's periods here and there throughout the year that I get barely any. Obviously during the quieter months, which is usually winter,
Mm-hmm.
not many leads are coming through. Obviously January, a lot of people propose, a lot of people get engaged. There was a lot of leads, but I want to have like a constant flow of leads,
Yeah.
high quality ones as well. So they'll come to me wanting to book me rather than they're pretty cold and they're
Just
just
price
saying
hunting.
price. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So there are a couple of things here, right? What I've discerned so far is that one, your lead flow. So when we're thinking through the marketing journey, there is essentially only four elements that we're thinking through, right? Branding, lead flow, sales, and retention. Okay. So I would probably say your branding is rock solid at the moment because people know what you do, they understand the quality of the work that you deliver, and so on and so forth. And the discussion that we're having here today is how do you go about generating consistent lead flow? Would that be right? Okay, so that you're getting as many pre-bookings or pre-commitment as possible to basically have a pipeline filled in your calendar. Would that be right? Yeah. Okay. Now, a couple of things that you need to understand and consider, and I'm pretty sure you understand already, but I'm just sort of like verbalizing it for you again. One is your lead flow tends to be and will continue to be seasonal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the name of the game, right? When people propose and they start thinking about weddings and they organize a million things and, videography is only one of them, right? So that based on the season, based on when people propose and whatnot, your lead flow will always have a fluctuation, right? I understand the dream is okay. Every single month we get consistently 50 leads, and
Yeah.
true, right? That does just won't happen based on the nature of your industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a reality check.
Yeah.
Right? I understand what the dream is, but we also need to be responsive to the reality of it, right? Now, not to say that we can't mitigate that, right? Which brings me to my next point. You mentioned about quality leads. Okay, now I would imagine right now, your most of your quality leads or most of your businesses would come from, I don't know, referrals. People have done business with you before. They, all that sort of stuff, right? Word of mouth and referral. Would you say so?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a
So,
lot of them come from Instagram actually. So
Mhm.
um, yeah, as funny as it sounds, they've probably been stalking me for a few months now,
Yep.
and that allows me to get it allows them to be like more warm, and then they'll
Yep.
come to me knowing me, following me
Yep.
for a little bit, and then they'll want to go take the next step.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So, let's have a little discussion about quality leads, right?
Yeah.
I understand that the dream is someone calls you up and say, I've been following you and watching all your videos for 6 months. I love what you do. Let's do business,
That's the
right?
best.
That is the best lead. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, if you want consistency and quality, they just won't happen at the same time, right? So what you need to build in. So in terms of lead flow, yeah, we can do fancy things like lead magnet and come up with an offer and all that sort of stuff, right? But when we do mass marketing, you're not always going to get top quality leads left, right,
Mhm.
and center, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, they and ah about price, they and ah about quality, availability, and so on and so forth. These are just a reality, right? So in your sales process, there may be an opportunity in your to develop a more robust sales process
Mhm.
so that you're able to convert some of these quote unquote lower quality leads, right, into a buying decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to keep growing your business and hopefully in a couple of years' time you'll hire other people and all that sort of stuff, right? Um, you don't want to get into a stage where you're just being spoon fed leads, high
Mhm.
quality leads, right? You want to go active into the market, right? And collect email addresses and phone numbers at scale of people potentially are going to get married in the next 12 to 18 months, right?
Mhm.
And then you take them on a bit of a journey or a consistent communication scheme or or content marketing so that you nudge them into a buying decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a couple of the mindset shifts. I can sort of, just talking to you for 5 minutes, right? For me, you got to come to terms with the nature of your industry. Lead flow is going to be fluctuating month to month
Yeah.
and season. And secondly, have a better perspective of what quality leads look like, right? How do you define them? And also, how do you nurture the incoming contacts or the incoming inquiries to make a purchasing decision with you?
Yeah.
Makes sense. I know it's high level. We can get into the actual execution a little bit, but do you have any feedback based on that, or Ori, do you have anything else to say?
I think obviously lead magnets and stuff is very common, and not everyone is going to download a PDF or something. Something that has been kind of floating in my mind is because weddings are typically a one-time purchase. How does it change the lead acquisition? Because the retention piece is probably not as prevalent in that, and that obviously takes into consideration how aggressive can I go into my marketing.
Yeah.
To because it's the cost per acquisition and then the potential lifetime value.
Mhm.
To then maybe it's more of a referral system that you have to bake in to get leads to create high quality leads. So that's
Yeah.
kind of been floating in my mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. What's in your mind, Dean?
Yeah, or as you said, the referral system's smart. Maybe I could give, if a couple booked with me, but if they refer their friend, let's just say, like, I could maybe give them a discount or give the people they referred a discount, something like that. But in terms of the high quality leads, yeah, they're all not going to be high quality. I guess I just want to get my name or my brand out in front of as much people as possible,
Yeah.
so I can then nurture them, which I'm not
Yeah.
really sure how to do yet. But I can nurture them to be more of a warm lead, and then
Yeah. Okay.
ultimately, more people that see my business, the more chance they're going to inquire.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So let me speak into a couple of tactics, right? As you were talking, I just drafted a couple of ideas that, like, some of these ideas could fly, some of these ideas could tank, right? But these are ideas, right? But one thing that I like to have a conversation around, um, in your game, I would imagine. So, okay. So, are you at the higher end of the spectrum in terms of delivery, pricing, and all that, or are you sort of middle of the pack?
Oh, definitely middle of the pack. Maybe
Okay,
even low to middle. Like we're looking at, maybe 3 to 5K. That's
three to
that's
five k,
right
three to
now. Yeah,
five per pop. Okay,
But
and
your quality is, I wouldn't say is middle of the pack.
yeah,
It's a bit higher, but your price point is probably low to middle.
yeah. I definitely say my pricing is a bit on sale right now.
okay. So you are value for money, right?
I'd say.
Okay, so value for money, which is a different. So you need to understand the buying behavior, right? So if someone is ready to drop 20K on a wedding video, they're probably not going to look at someone in your
No.
spectrum. They're gonna look at some award winning cinematography, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
um, which would charge an arm and a leg, right? Not to say that you can't deliver those stuff, but this is not the market that you play in, right?
Mm.
The market that you play in is people who are on a bit of a budget.
Yeah.
Obviously, they want best value, best quality, best experience, right? Based on your experience, what are some of the so when someone says yes, shut up and take my money, Dean? What got them across the line? Is that price? Is that your customer service? Is that your process? Is that your delivery? Is that your guarantee? What does that look like?
Oh well, number one, I'd be the video. It's just the quality. Number two would be That usually they're word of mouth, right? So how they would have come to me and said, "Yeah, I want to book you," would be usually how I am on the day. Like I'm a really nice, friendly person. I work well. I gel well with the other vendors.
Yeah,
I feel like that is almost just as important as the video delivery.
absolutely.
Who's you are as a person, yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the point that I'm trying to get to, right? People pay you money for the experience. Like
Mm,
wedding couples, every single dollar that they spend is spent on the experience,
mm,
right? Yes, they're going to get some output out of it. They're going to get a cake, they're going to get a dinner, they're going to get speeches, they're going to get video, and so on and so forth, right? But
yeah.
every single cent that they spend on a wedding is all spent on the experience,
Mhm,
right? You said something around the quality of your work. Now, quality is somewhat intangible and subjective. Someone can look at the video and say, it's not worth 5K, it's only worth 2K, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to dish your quality. I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty good, right? But we if we lead with the messaging, if we're talking about marketing now, right? If we lead with the messaging, if we go to the market and say we're the best quality, you're gonna, have whatever amazing video to remember for life and all that sort of stuff. It is a very noisy market
mm,
because everyone, good or bad, is saying the same thing,
yeah.
right? And quality is really hard to, and wedding video is a piece of art, right? Basically, right? It's really hard to put a price on a piece of art, right?
Yeah.
It's really hard for someone to justify, is 3 grand too much, or is 5 grand too much, or is 2 grand too cheap, right? But what I would want you to think through is what are the tangibles around me paying 5 grand to receive a videography service from you, right? So you're gonna get XYZ. You're gonna get, I don't know. Tell me. So if I spend 5 grand with you, what am I getting?
You're getting two videos, one which being a highlight, and one is like a much longer video, more of like a video that just the couple would watch. They wouldn't really show their friends, or they'd have really good friends if they'd watch an hour video of them.
Yeah,
But usually it's the highlight video that they're sharing off with their family and friends.
yeah.
Well, yeah, so drone footage. I've just incorporated Super 8 footage, which is like an old vintage camera sort of look.
Hmm.
It's sort of trending right now.
Hmm.
You'd get a call with me, like a consultation, and
Hmm.
then you'd also get a call a month out before the wedding just to
Yeah,
go over everything, and then obviously me on the day.
yeah.
So
Okay.
you get with me, yeah.
Yeah. So you understand this already intuitively, right? Because weddings is a one-time event, right?
Mm,
And especially in the bride's mind, nothing can go wrong, right?
yeah.
And we've only got one shot, right? So in pitching to them, or in your marketing messaging, you like I have no doubt in my mind that you've got more than enough eye candy to show people, right?
Mhm,
But when we say quality leads, how do we go about attracting quality leads? I would probably say eye candy is not good enough because everyone is showing eye candy.
mhm,
But you want to paint the picture of certainty, right? So when you hire me, right, I'm going to take you on a journey. So including a meeting and a design, whatever storyboard, or like so that people before they make the purchasing decision, right, they have high confidence uh, and certainty that whatever that this guy does is going to give me is going to give me a high chance of good quality and no stuff ups. I was going to swear, no stuff ups during the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess that's a big thing. Just trust, knowing that I'm going to capture every shot,
Yeah, yeah,
and not
exactly,
make mistakes.
exactly. And trust. is so intangible to talk about, right? You can like when you go to someone, you can trust me, right?
Yeah.
You really trust me, right? So the trick is to build as many tangibles, right, into your pitch, right? To go, so let's say we have a 15-step process to cover every single moment, a key moment of your wedding, right? When you say that, you're giving me confidence. So that well, what you're saying by not saying is you are very experienced and you've done thousands of weddings before. You know, basically at the back of your head, what are the key moments to capture,
Yeah.
right? So we're gonna capture X, Y, like the cut caking, the kissing, the vows, the whatever, right? Okay. Now you're giving me certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Same formula goes to okay, the way you deliver the preparation, the pre-production, right? The way you deliver the production, like during the production, like the little things like that, especially when you're trying to pitch to the bride, right? Okay. We shoot our videos in a way where we never get in the way of your main guests, right? Or we, like I've been doing enough weddings where it's almost like the whole wedding is designed for videographers. Do you know what I mean?
And
Exactly. Like they're in the way all the time. They're like, "Hey, can you do this again?" Yada yada. Like that's just a nightmare. So you want to paint that picture as tangibly as possible. What is it going to look like pre-production? During the day, what is my experience going to look like, and after post production? So in 48 hours or within a week, you are going to get XYZ to host a party or like a watching party or something. Like you just need to build in all these tangibles so that someone go, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. Other than he's really good at delivering eye candy, but he actually knows how the game is played.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not just good with the camera, but he's good at, creating a wedding video for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Sort of
sees
like
me, understands me. He understands how a wedding day is going to pan out. Yeah, that's the trick to get someone across the line.
and the best way to sort of deliver that information would be on a call, or would it be like in my investment guide that I send to my couples, like as soon as they inquire?
Mhm. Yeah, look, what you need first and foremost is to develop these talking points first, which is a massive messaging exercise, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't have time for, but you can talk to Ori or talk to me offline, right? Once you've got those talking points, then you need to strategically think through the entire customer journey, right? And sprinkle these talking points on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, you're doing a bunch of social media content at the moment, I believe, right? Right. So instead of just showing, videos of weddings that you've done before, which is essential, right? You can start putting out useful content such as here's 15 things that you need to think through for your wedding day. You're not even talking about video, right? That's the mistake that most people make, right? Because you're a video professional, all you want to talk about is video, right? Guess what? People who want to get married, they don't want to know anything about video. They want to know what is going to make a successful wedding, right? So here's 15 things that you want to think through, and then obviously in the content itself, you will then sprinkle the video side on top, right? Or like 6 common mistakes of a video, or like wedding videos made simple or something like that, right? But what the point that I'm trying to make is you need to establish these talking points. You need to map out the entire customer journey and then discern which point of that journey will I sprinkle these on top, right? So the stuff that we talked about before, the sort of consideration stage, you want to make sure you're building in all these tangible as much as possible to try and get them across the line, to give that certainty. When you hire me, I'm quote unquote guaranteeing that I'm going to put these measures in place, right, for you to have a very high chance to have an amazing day and a amazing wedding video as a result.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I guess when you say like top 15 most important things about your wedding day, stuff like that. I guess it builds trust, like that what you're talking about, and
Yeah, weddings as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make you the wedding organizer expert, right?
yeah,
That makes you look like someone who has witnessed a lot of weddings,
mm-hmm.
or who has been a part of many, many weddings. More like
yeah,
an observer.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then there's so many creative ways we can play on
Yeah.
that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just do a video, say, hey, I've been at X amount of weddings. Here are 10 things that have made me cringe every single time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yep. Yeah. Then this is how you can showcase a little. Okay, so since 2003, I've done 5,000 weddings, right? And every weddings are unique but the same, right? And here are 10 things that I've witnessed over the years that would make a terrible wedding day.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's more compelling content, yeah, compared to showing Alex and Alex and Vivian's wedding video. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. All right, let's talk practical a little bit. I do have a couple of ideas from a lead gen point of view, right? And you can take it with a grain of salt, but here are my ideas, right? So idea number one is you mentioned. Okay, so based on your experience, at what point do people start thinking about hiring a videographer or talking to a videographer?
I guess after they've booked the venue, they usually they'll go venue first, and then they'll go photographer, videographer. I'm usually after the photographer. They go photographer first.
Okay. So my thought process was okay. So usually they would propose
Yep.
the venue, and then start looking at photographer and videographer. My question is there a way for us to hack any of these milestones for people to give you a pre-commitment? For example, this is a crazy idea, right? Um, so, Alex, you're looking to propose to your girlfriend in the next whenever month or so. Now, um, at some point, I would imagine you're going to be successful in proposing, and at some point, you will need to start organizing a wedding. Now, I'm a wedding photographer. Sorry, I'm a wedding videographer, um, and I'm very booked and very busy.
Yep.
Um, and if you pay me a $500 refundable deposit, right, I'm going to lock you in for this date for something in exchange, right? So I'll basically you're cutting them a deal for pre-commitment, right?
Mhm.
So let's say your video is 5 grand, right? Okay, so I'm going to help you save a few dollars. So instead of 5 grand, I'm going to charge you 4 grand if you pay me $500 now,
Yep.
which is refundable. So if anything goes wrong, I'm going to refund you $500
Yep.
and forget about it, right? So that would be one way to try and hack it, um, so that you're trying to fill your books in
Yeah.
advance. Yeah. So that's one idea. Um, and then the other idea. So, Ori, what do you think about stuff so far?
Yeah, I just had an idea, and I understand the kind of the chain of order, or like the food chain, that venue is always first, because it's what's the point of having a videographer if you don't have a venue?
Yep.
And is there a way where you can get referred to by the venue in a creative way? For example, if you went to the top 10 venues that you really enjoy shooting at, and you say, hey, I will create you a kick-ass marketing video to showcase your venue and get like really good bookings,
Mhm.
because it's you that creates the video, your style and kind of your flavor will come to shine. Whether you partner with them that they spend money on advertising to get more bookings, it's very easy for you to then get in front of the couple because you shot the video.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So because the venue is always first, it's hard to get in before the venue, but you can get in with the venue.
Yeah, a lot of
Instead of
venues
just being on the
do
directory
like
list.
yeah, a lot of venues do like a vendor list. So when they book the venue, the couple, usually the venue will go on and send like an email with the vendor list.
Yeah.
And that's a great goal of mine, to get onto some of the
So,
venues.
so what would it take for you to get on as many vendor lists as possible?
Oh, it's just trying to establish a connection with the owner.
Okay,
Um,
now building relationship is what I would call a passive strategy, because
mhm,
there are only so many coffees you can have people and so many conversations you have, right? How
yeah,
can you make this transactional? Because at the end of the day, venues want to make money, you want to make money, right? How can you make this a business? This is basically like without you spending a dime on online advertising, websites, sales funnels, and all that sort of stuff, right? This is your low hanging fruit, right? If you get on 10 venues vendor list, I would be quite confident that your business is going to pick up, right?
yeah,
So what is some of the things that you can offer to go to venues and say, put me on the list, and then I'm going to give you this.
yeah. It could be a referral program. Um,
But what is the what's the incentive, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be money or kickback all the time,
yeah,
right? Um, what do venues want?
they want awesome videos of weddings at their venues.
Hmm. Yep.
Um,
Okay. So this will require you to put in some extra work,
mm,
or if you expand into hiring people and whatnot, right? Like, for someone to put you on a vendor list is I would probably say is an ongoing commitment from them. I know it's
yeah,
set and forget sometimes with them, right? But you want to be providing ongoing value, right?
mhm,
So if you go to a venue and say, if you put me on a vendor list every 6 months, I'm gonna do a custom video for your venue,
yeah,
right? Or however many videos you can do, right?
mm,
Okay. And that basically becomes your number one lead gen, or
mm,
affiliate affiliate marketing strategy, right? And if you do it consistently across 5 to 10, 15, 20 venues, you don't need to spend a dime on advertising. You just need to put in the work for free every six
yeah,
months. Yeah.
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 No, that totally makes sense. Yeah, like every 6 months could go film a few reels for them, like a promo video, an updated promo video, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and every time you're at the venue, you should just shoot a few extra clips. Rock up a bit early, do some drone footage and different
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah, and you can totally budget for it, right? Because like you will get to a stage where you're prepared to spend some money on marketing, right? But instead of the traditional way, which is online advertising and everything, and you're competing with everyone under the sun, right? You go and hire a junior videographer to capture the B rolls for you. You come in and then do some editing and whatnot. Every 6 months, you're incentivizing the venues
yeah,
to be on the list, right? And
mhm,
then you basically just do your calculation and your measurements from there. Let's say you've got a book of 10 venues. At the end of every year or something, you start go, okay, this venue I got 6 gigs, this venue I got 3 gigs, and then you can start making some decisions around that, right?
yeah,
If you do that for the next 12 months, I'm pretty confident that you're going to get some regular traffic coming in.
yeah. I guess obviously it comes down to word of mouth again. I think that would be the best way.
Yeah.
And I don't have to physically pay for it. Like I pay for it in the work I do for the venues,
Mhm.
but that's probably the best way.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of word of mouth, before we let you go, right? So I think the venue strategy has some legs. It is still word of mouth, but it's more strategic word of mouth,
Mm.
right? Now, the second layer of the word of mouth would be the couples who have just got married and still feel and obviously received the video from you, feel all excited about it and whatnot, right? That is your golden opportunity to ask for referrals
Yeah,
strategically, right?
mhm,
Um, Usually, when someone who's not good at doing marketing be like, "Hey, here's your video. Congratulations, we love you. Let us know if like if you can, think of like if you've got friends and family who are getting married, think of me." Like that would be probably the end of the conversation, right? for some, right? But there's a golden opportunity for you to make that first sending of the video super special and exciting, right? And give them an opportunity to take an action to refer to someone.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'm just pipe dreaming, right? It may not be practical for you to execute, right? You, instead of sending a video, you host a little video viewing party
Yeah.
with them or for them. All right. Or you make, basically what I'm trying to say is to make it really special. Instead of just sending it via email and say, kudos to you, see you later, right?
Yeah.
Try and come up with an experience that it becomes a video viewing experience.
Yeah.
Remember, your couples didn't pay you for the video. They pay you for an experience, right? So you're just continuing that wedding experience to now in the video department. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or the post-wedding department, right? So this is where you need to think creatively. How can you blow people's socks off in delivering that video? And then once they're all excited about it and go, hey, if there are 3 people that you think who are getting married in the next 12 to 18 months, can you please give me their names, emails, and phone numbers? Right?
Yeah.
And you want to do it right there, right? Or
Yeah.
like while they're hot, like where they're super hot, right?
Mhm.
That becomes, again, your free lead flow,
Yeah.
right, into the next gigs.
Mhm.
So I think as long as you're willing and able to put in that extra time and that extra thought process into pampering the venues and pampering the new couples, I have every confidence to for you to pick up more business in the next couple of years.
Yeah, that sounds great. When talking about that sort of viewing party, I actually know a business so they're videographers, right? But they hire out like a little movie cinema for the couple to go into and then watch their videos.
Yeah,
So,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah.
That's it, and you can make money out of it as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like sell mini tickets.
Yeah, sell mini tickets, sell F&B, food, all that sort of stuff.
Well,
Right?
make this an add-on, like host a viewing party in a movie theater in 8K resolution or something.
Yeah.
And you only have to hire the theater for half an hour.
Mhm.
Absolutely. In your game, I highly recommend a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. Right? Like what we've talked about is unreasonable.
Mhm.
Right? You're basically extending the wedding day into another experience while
Yeah.
there's super hyper about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's what it takes to win in the marketplace, man.
Yeah.
Because I have so many friends in my age and in the same stage of life, and that's just the nature of of being human, that you kind of flock with the people that are similar to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I naturally would bring the people that are either freshly married or are about to get married, and then you watch that together.
Yeah, exactly. That could be actually your lead gen event as well, right? Like, yeah, great if you can bring your friends and family, but if you've got 3 couples that they are going to get married soon, please invite them to this thing. And then, there's so many ways, once you've got that experience, there's so many ways you can slice the pie, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And that's much easier than going to Facebook and saying, here I do wedding services or Google Ads, because you either have price hunters or you just get ignored in the sea of service providers.
Yeah, everyone's doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So you came into our call today asking 2 questions: how do I generate consistent leads, and how do I generate quality leads? And I would probably say that the consistency would come from venues,
Yeah.
right? So you got to do a really good job in getting on those vendor lists. And then secondly, quality would be the post-wedding experience that you're going to give people so that they tag their friends along or give you the contact details of their friends.
Yeah.
That's what you can do. That's just some of the things that you can do in your power and in your control to give you a better chance to win.
Yeah, I think it'd be really powerful because I don't know many people doing the post show sort of video show. Yeah, I feel like I've got a pretty clear direction now of where I want to put all my effort into my marketing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm
good,
excited
man.
for you. We've got lots of ideas buzzing.
Awesome. Well, feel free to reach out and talk to us offline. But Dean, hopefully, we've given you some ideas to go and execute. But mate, the devil is in the detail, is in the execution, right? So if you really want to, make this thing into a hopefully one day multi-million-dollar enterprise, this is where you start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds. Well,
So
thanks
cool.
for having me.
Nice, thank you, Dean. Lovely to having you on the stream, and yeah, go and execute. It will only happen when you execute it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
All right, talk to you soon.
So good.
to you
All right.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Dean Whiteman. So if you need a video wedding videographer, go to corevisuals.com.au. That's core like a core, a hole. Core
Okay.
Visuals with an s.com.au.
Okay.
And man, this was proof to me that everyone talks about traditional marketing or traditional digital marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, and you can waste so much money on these typical ad campaigns.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just takes a bit of creativity to break through the status quo to
Yeah.
really make a difference.
Mate, I can talk to you all day about people making stupid decisions,
Yeah.
thinking they're doing the right thing in marketing, and sometimes you just, it's just one couple of ideas away to. Today in my meeting, this is sidetracked. Today in my meeting, this particular business has dropped $12,000 on a web application, and counting, because they're making all these
Maintenance.
fancy optimization and everything.
Yeah.
Thinking that they're doing that money is being spent on marketing, right? That particular app that they're building is really valuable for them to talk about in their marketing. Where when it comes down to it, is more of a customer experience tool or a delivery tool, more of a service delivery tool than a marketing proposition, right? So here goes 12 grand and counting, in thinking you're investing into marketing, but actually not. So,
oh man, and then just executing it well, like
exactly, yeah,
just having the idea and the execution.
yeah.
But then marketing is fun because you have a momentum that you're building on.
Oh yeah, 100%. Hey, we've got one more thing to talk about before we break. So why don't you bring that up, and then we can have a little chat about it.
Cool. You're referring to the email newsletter?
Yes. So context for everybody still watching. So we were helping quite a sizable business to think through the marketing. And one of the first things that we would recommend them to do is, because they're sitting on a massive database of previous clients who have paid them sometimes millions of dollars to do business, but they are just sitting on a gold mine, sitting on a database, and haven't communicated with them for years. Right? So for this particular business, for me, the low-hanging fruit is actually in the retention. How do we go about upselling existing customers or previous customers into the next project or into some sort of retainer, right? So one of the recommendations that we gave them was, hey, you need to go back to your database and start building that communication channel and with consistency. And about 6 weeks later, they send the first email, which is something that we're looking at now.
Awesome. Cool. All right, I've got it here. Let me bring it up. So here we go. So this is ITE. What does ITE stand for, Alex?
Good question. Installation theatrical engineering or something. Anyways, let's not bring them up. The point is, they are an engineering company specialized in theatrical work. So your theaters, your
Entertainment stages and all that stuff. Yeah.
stages and all that sort of stuff. So they do amazing work, and like they worked on shows like Lion King and all that sort of stuff, like massive engineering company, super sophisticated, right? And this is a classic case for technical companies trying to figure out what marketing looks like. Okay, so so now this is their first. This is their first attempt to go back to their their database of hundreds, if not thousands, of clients that they've done business with, or sort of like theater industry people, or owners of theaters, or owners of like big corporate government bodies, so on and so forth, right? So this is their first attempt. So welcome to us first and foremost. Now I'm going to dive into the details a little bit. So if you're watching, John, please don't be offended, because that's just our style of very candid and very real and raw. Okay, so I would probably say from a visual point of view, there are a couple of things that I can pick out. One, this EDM design is based on a template that you've picked on your CRM, MailChimp or HubSpot or whatever, right? And it looks very commercial. Okay. Now, in your industry, it probably still works, right? But when people scanning through their inboxes, if they, because like people don't have time and people don't want to be advertised to or marketed to intuitively, including us professional marketers, anything on my mailbox that smells commercial, right, I will give it a massive discount already, right? So I understand you want to preserve some of your professionalism, you want to have a little bit of design and so on and so forth, but by picking a professional quote unquote design for your EDM effort could shoot yourself in the foot, right? That's what the first thing, and then I'll cover another thing, and I'll let you chime in as well, Ori. Probably go through the content. Now we got to be super strategic about the real estate placement on a given collateral. Basically, like it can be a flyer, it could be an EDM, it could be anything, right? We've got to be super cautious of how we use the real estate, because people are only going to give you no more than 2 seconds of the time to basically make a decision on whether or not this is worth my time, right? So right now, if I'm just looking at the screen, go ITE welcome with a picture underneath, right? It doesn't tell me what so there are three things that we always talk about when someone looks at anything to do with marketing. What do? How is this going to make my life better? And what do I do to buy, right? At the moment, those questions are not being answered by just having a logo, a welcome, and a half of the picture. So you're running the risk of losing attention already. Hence, your open rate and click-through rates are going to tank if this is going to be the format of your EDMs going forward. Now you go, Ori.
Yeah. Obviously, looking at a lot of websites and just visual stuff, this the logo and the welcome headline, as friendly as it is, it's probably less relevant, because we always want to portray the person that we're talking to rather than ourselves. And even the image is all about yourself. I assume this is part of your team. And when I read a headline, I want to know, does this provide any value to me? And at the moment, it's just saying welcome, so I have no idea what this is about. And so when I scan through all my emails and click this email and the preview window pops up, then I'm probably going to be like, go to the next email. Massive kudos to you to actually start sending emails. So that's great. But just sending emails alone won't cut it, unfortunately. You need to be strategic with what you say at the beginning, and then obviously the rest of the content.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so if we can just, we've got about 2-3 minutes left. And this the battle that you're fighting against, John, that people only have 2 to 3 minutes to scan through whatever that you have to say, right? So as we scan through, we want to make, okay, so this is a classic thing that people do. Welcome to the monthly wrap, right? Now, if you subscribe to the StoryBrand framework, which obviously I know you are because we had conversations around StoryBrand, we want your customers to be the hero of the story instead of you, right? Because your customers couldn't care less about what's going on around your business, even though you're kicking goals and coming up with the next engineering breakthrough and everything, right? We want to know what problem are you bringing, what problems are you solving, or how does your updates actually going to affect what we do in our theater, right? So as you just quickly scroll through the content, if you can, or monthly wrap, and then now we're showing machineries and backstage and rigging and this piece of machinery and lots and lots of
brochure.
things. Yep. Okay. So in principle, the first thing is kudos to you. Well done for trying to reach back out to your existing database to get their attention, right? This first email would probably give you some open rates because you haven't got in touch for a while, so people are curious about what you have to say. Why would this company start sending me emails, right? But the feedback is if it's going to look very commercial and very quote unquote newsletter like, you will, if you continue to do this over the next few weeks or next few months, you will slowly see a decline on your open rates and engagement rate because of the nature of the copywriting and the content. That would be my 2 cents worth. Any last words from you, Ori?
My main focus is always know who you are sending it to. I'm just thinking about, I've got an email list, I'm sending it to my email subscribers. It's not really enough. You want to picture who is sitting at the other side of the screen. I can see here, you worked with Kane Construction, so I assume you partner with a lot of, construction companies and bigger builders, etc. So who is the decision maker at the other end reading this or engage you? And then talk to those people and what do they care about? What does success look like for them? And then use that success language in those headlines.
Absolutely. Good. Yes. So a long way to go, but kudos to you for making a start, John. Yes. So that will be our show, Ori.
Awesome. Well, what a great show and exciting things for businesses to grow in their marketing. And hey, if you are still watching this or watching this on demand and want us to roast or review your marketing collateral, just go to csharp.au/live, and we'd be more than happy to bring you on as a guest or just review some of your marketing collateral, because marketing is super powerful, but can also be super wasteful, and we obviously want to avoid for you to waste more money on marketing and start growing your business the right way.
Absolutely, that's so good. Well, and before we go, if we have a few more spots left in our upcoming StoryBrand workshop happening in the 1st and 2nd of May. So if you're watching, you're liking this thought process, we are going to do a deep dive in a small group setting over 2 days. So feel free to, in Melbourne, so feel free to go to the link below and grab your seats because they are running out extremely fast.
Yeah, we'll both be there in person, and we don't just talk theory, but we take ideas and actually execute them. So if you have been stuck in your own marketing, this is the place to be.
Great. Well, until next time, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next Thursday, same time.
Awesome. See you next week.